Hi-ho everyone, and welcome back to the adventures of Turwinkle, the gnome mage. Well, hi Turwinkle.
Greetings.
Everything going well tonight?
Indubitably.
As you can see, the sun is going down behind us here, and we are back in Stormwind. Tonight we're going to be talking to the Wandering Lantern, the guild that's responsible for the Three Lanterns Market that we just attended not too long ago. And we're really looking forward to finding out how much work it takes to put into that, how they come up with the idea, and what their guild is all about. So, without further ado, let's go meet them, shall we? The bell indicates we should, and we're... So we'll go do that right now. So we've decided to actually come to Ironforge, and they wanted to do their interview in a tavern in Ironforge, so here we are. So let's go ahead and meet these folks, shall we? All right, well here they are, the Wandering Lantern group, and we'll just go down the line here and see who we've got. So we'll start with the dwarf on the end. This is Eodi Earthenbolt. He's an earthmender, a wanderer of the Wandering Lantern. He is currently ready for a nap. Level 90 Wild Hammer Shaman. Nice, okay. Hopefully won't keep him from his nap too long. Next we have Rel Shimmerstar, nickname Airy. She's the Lantern of the Wandering Lantern. Flame Warden Rel is a level 78 Kaldori Druid. She's excited for the interview with Turwinkle. Oh, that's nice, okay. And I like her antlers there she's got. Next is Durakis Flint, Lantern of the Wandering Lantern, or Drak. She's a level 90 human paladin. She's currently observing. And finally, on the end here, we have Ginkgo Mistprowler, Wanderer of the Wandering Lantern. Ginkgo the Seeker, level 90 Night Elf Druid. She's currently smiling. Excellent. So nice to meet these folks. And we're in a nice little tavern here in Ironforge. And so let's start with the questions, shall we? Alright, so let's ask these folks some questions, shall we? So, good to finally get with you folks. I'm excited to learn all about your guild. I'll start by asking, how did you come up with your guild name, the Wandering Lantern? Rel says we didn't. Linari and Varicor initially established the guild. They wanted a theme of a wandering caravan, and hence the guild became the Wandering Lantern, because every wanderer needs a lantern, right? Which, sure, great. And it looks like they have their lanterns out here. You can see them floating up here, which is weird. I don't know how they do that. Magic, I guess. I see. So you folks inherited the guild, or are those two still within the organization? Drax says, sadly, real life affairs pulled them away. Rails added, they had personal reasons for leaving the game, so Roland inherited the guild and asked Drac and I to help with the everyday runnings. Now Roland's not here tonight and he's the guild leader. Unfortunately he was unable to make it, so we will hopefully be talking with him sometime down the line, and maybe getting a one-on-one interview with him as well. So I said, I see, that does happen from time to time, talking about the two having to leave the game. So what kind of guild is the Wandering Lantern then? I assume you're a heavy role-playing guild. Rel says we're a medium to heavy role-playing guild with a traveling caravan theme. Drax says we're more like a family, we stick together and help each other out. And they tend to agree with her on that. Rel says we are fairly small and close-knit for sure. So well, that's definitely unique. What does a traveling caravan do? Drax says we travel to different places. Right now we're encamped in the Twilight Grove in Duskwood. We are seeing the world together as a guild, which is really, that's a neat idea, isn't it? Taking the whole guild and just traveling from town to town and adventuring along the way. That's a great idea. Rel says, and our storyline is open-ended at the moment. Each player is free to create their own storyline within the caravan. I see, so no home bases, just the road and the whole world of Azeroth is home basically. How novel. Rel nodded at me. Drax says, yep, we've had many adventures together, that's for sure. Eodi says, it's a fun way to get out into the world to RP rather than going to the nearest inn. So you're not confined to just a home base, which would be in a certain area, like in the keep in Stormwind or in an inn in Ironforge, like we are here. But they use the whole map of Azeroth as their home base. So it's a really neat idea. I'm really fascinated by that. That's great. So let's delve in further and find out more, shall we? Okay, well, we had somebody new come in here. So let's take a look here. We have Alienora Callan, nickname Allie, Wanderer of the Wandering Lantern, level 90 human warlock. Nice. Well, welcome, Allie. And let's get to the questions, shall we? Let's see here. We'll back up a little bit. That looks good. And we asked, we can scooch up here, way up the list. Okay. We asked, you mentioned you have a small group. How many members are in the Wandering Lantern? Rel says we have about 8 to 12 active members, and a few have taken the summer to spend with family, that's typical. There are more characters in the guild, though. Drax added, activity is generally slower in the summer, which, yeah, again, that is typical. That does tend to happen. I see. So having a smaller guild, is that on purpose then? Are you actively looking for more people? Drax says we're always welcome to anyone who would like to join, given they're not a crazy psycho stalker people. Well, yes, you don't generally want crazy psycho stalker people in your guild, so that's understandable as well. Rel says recruiting is open. Each applicant goes through an interview before the official G or guild invite is sent out. Drex says we do like smaller numbers. It's easier to know each other that way, which is true. You know, as great as AIE is, I would imagine not everybody knows everyone in that guild. It would be impossible. There are thousands of people in that guild. So having a smaller guild definitely would make it easier to know everybody. So I see. Now, what kind of interviews do you do? Is it out of character or is it in character? And Drexy said the application is in character. Then we will talk to you out of character and possibly in character too, which is that is a typical way of doing something, especially for an RP server and an RP guild. You'll RP first, and then you'll let them know out of character what the guild rules are and so forth. So I said, so what do you folks look for in people who want to join the Wandering Lantern? Rel says honesty, loyalty, and a team player. An original character background is always interesting too. And that does, you know, it does help you as a role player if you're looking for a quality role-playing guild. A lot of them will require you to have some sort of story about your character. Drexus says, well, we welcome our peers of all backgrounds, whether you are experienced or brand new, we've got a spot. We want active, honest, loyal people who know how to behave within the group. And again, you'll notice that comes up time and time again, was that you want to be active. Why be in a guild with people if you're not going to be there? And we've mentioned that before. And so they both liked each other's answers. So let's go ahead and ask a few more questions. All right, well, we have someone else that just arrived here. Let's take a look here, shall we? We have Kessia Moonstone, nicknamed Kess. She's a wanderer of the Wandering Lantern. She is a level 90 human rogue and currently just is. All right, so she just is here. So let's ask a few more questions, shall we? We have, okay, all sorts of people dropping in out of the ceiling and okay, there she goes. All right. Okay, so back to the questions here. I asked, do you folks have a website? And both Ariel and Drax answered, we sure do. It is lantern.shivtr.com. That's where you need to apply, Ginkgo says. Drax says, we use the website for all sorts of things, Iceli and OOC. We've even got Guild Columnist. Wow, that is pretty neat. So they're really using their website to further not only RP, but the friendships as well outside the game. So great. How else do people contact you in-game, and who would they speak with? Ariel added for the guild website, they have a few characters that keep journals so you can read of their adventures or get a look into their thoughts as well there. So again, they really use that website as something that not only makes their character, flesh out their character more, but it allows them to share it with not only people in WoW, but perhaps people who aren't even in the game. So great. It says in game they can contact myself, Roland, or Drax. If we don't know the answer, we can get in touch with one another out of the game to find out. Now I said, well, you know what? Turwinkle had a blast at the Three Lanterns Market event you folks held last week, and we really did. And if you folks haven't seen that episode, go check out episode 54 of Turwinkle's Adventures, and you'll see exactly all the fun that he had there and what a wonderful event that was. I said, who thought of the idea for the market? Drax says initially Leonaria. Since she's departed, however, Ariel has taken over. Ariel says, I didn't want to lose that. It is an awesome event, and it really is. I highly recommend that if you haven't seen that episode, that you go watch that episode to see what it's all about. Drax says, yes, it was something that we decided as a guild that shouldn't be lost. So they, as a guild, decided they're going to continue doing this event, and I'm really glad they have decided to do so. I said, well, you all did a wonderful job. It was very successful. Now, how long does it take to set up? And Ariel laughs and says, all month long. And I can imagine, because there's a lot of different guilds and booths and everything else set up there. So it's quite a job. It says and they're still working on the next location. I said, how often will you be doing the market event? Monthly, is it? Is it monthly? And Ariel says, I will get to the post up in the forum as soon as that is decided, as far as where they're going to be. And from there, it's a daily check and bump. So she checks it on a daily basis. And so she runs that forum post all month long to allow people a chance to sign up and participate in the event. Now, Drax says every second Monday of the month is when they do the event. The Three Lanterns Market is every second Monday of the month. Ariel says, yes, monthly. The Monday after the Dark Moon Fair is when it should be, but she miscalculated July's. Well, there goes the alarm for 8 o'clock in Ironforge, the big horn going off there. Drax says, if anyone's interested in being a vendor, recruiter, or entertainment, they should check out the forum post or contact Ariel, me, or Roland. Forum post is easiest, so I can copy and paste the stall information, but in-game mail works also. They said, and Drax says, oh, we also welcome any guard guilds who would like to do security detail. And I had to mention that I sorted out a situation on the last one with the vendor. There was a rude person, and Turwinkle almost had to get George out in that episode. It would have been ugly. And Drax says, thank you for that. No one wants George to come out, and they don't. George comes out, he doesn't go back in until he's bloodied someone up. And a lot of times that's poor Turwinkle. Okay, Ariel says, I think it was Storm Guard Union that had security detail in addition to our guild guards. All right, so we're going to ask another round of questions, and I think we're going to let these poor folks go. And so let's get to that second round of questions, shall we? All right, so what we're going to do now is I've asked them all one question, and what I'm going to do here is start with Ginkgo, and we're going to go down the line and see how they've answered. And what I've asked was, what would you tell people about your guild? What would you tell them about the Wandering Lantern? What would you like them to know? And so we'll start with Ginkgo here. And Ginkgo says, I would tell them, I love how we are open to new RPers. We even have lessons, and how everyone is family. Oh, that is really nice. Okay. So next we have Allie. And Allie says, I like the people. My best friend is in the guild. I like being able to hang out with friends and have fun. I have really spent most of my playtime alone, so hanging out with friends is just the best. Oh, see, that's nice. Okay, next we have Drax. And Drax says, I like how everyone is there when you need them the most. I like how everyone is open to helping you develop your storylines, but most of all, I like how you can count on everyone here. Great. Let's move on down the line here. We've got Ariel. And Ariel says, I appreciate being welcomed with open arms while learning role playing. Everyone was very patient with me. They still are because I'm always learning. I also love the feel of family within the guild. The market may be a lot of work, but it's super fun to put on. It's one of my favorite things. Which she does a really good job. The whole guild does. But she really puts a lot of work into it. And again, if you've seen that episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, go and watch that. You will be amazed how much work she put into that. All right, so we move down the line here. And we've got Ito here. And, whoop, went too far. Let's find Ito here. Ito. All right. Ito says, I enjoy the small, tight-knit group we've got here. I enjoy everyone's creativity and friendly attitudes. We're a family here, if somewhat dysfunctional. Ariel says, shh, you're not supposed to tell the secrets. And last but not least, we have Cassia here, or Cassia. And she says, well, I think the best part I've found is the ability of the guild to deal with unexpected situations and pull it together. She goes on to say, we have great folks that take pride in the guild and don't want to see it fall apart. The leadership has stepped up and done great things with a situation they were thrown into. So I imagine she's talking about when they've lost their two main guild leaders and Roland took over. So they've all worked hard as a guild to keep the guild running. And that does say a lot about a guild that sticks together through adversity like that. So excellent job, guys. And I guess what we'll do now is we'll wrap up. So we'll see you folks then. All right, Turwinkle. Well, this has been a great night. And they have all been a wonderful, wonderful group of people. We have learned a lot about the Wandering Lantern Guild. And they are a neat bunch. So give them a big thank you, Turwinkle.
Thank you.
Again, Turwinkle, come on. It's so short with your thank yous. Okay, so I guess that will do, sir. So with that, we will see you folks back at Turwinkle's tent in the refuge point. So thank you, folks, and Turwinkle will see you back at the tent. All right, well, we made it back to the tent safe and sound. And man, what a great group, weren't they, Turwinkle?
Affirmative.
Yeah, these Wandering Lantern folks, they are very nice, aren't they?
Indubitably.
Yeah, folks, if you're looking to join a guild that's not tied down to any city or inn, but are traveling the world together, adventuring through the whole world of Azeroth and exploring and seeing the new sights and sounds together as a guild, this is the guild for you. So if you like this episode, click like. If you'd like to comment either on the episode or on the Wandering Lantern, do so below. Turwinkle and I love comments, and we read and we try to respond to every one of them that we can. And finally, if you'd like to join Team Turwinkle, we would love to have you. So please click that subscribe button. Well, Turwinkle, I guess that is it for the evening. Great job, sir. And we will see you next time.
I'll miss you.
We'll miss you too, Turwinkle. Bye-bye.